Hi, Kipsters. I am so sorry I can't be in class today, but I'm trying to pre-record some notes for you. So we're in Module 3, Day 5 today. And our objective is that Kipsters will be able to name the slope and the y-intercept given the equation in slope-intercept form. And Kipsters will be able to look at a graph and match the slope-intercept equation. We've been talking about slope within this last week. We said if we were looking at an equation, we know it's going to be the m value in slope-intercept form, which is in y equals mx plus b. So it is just the number in front of the variable. And then we also learned if we are given 2 points or even a table, we could use this equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 divided by x1. And I know my points are always going to be that first point. Point is going to be x1 comma y1, and the second point is going to be x2 comma y2, and I'm just going to be substituting into that equation and seeing my output. And sometimes it's a fraction, you guys. As a reminder, I want my slope usually in a fraction. And this part is new. Make sure you are writing this down, you guys. So when I look at a graph, I want to do rise over run. You might be thinking like, what do you mean by rise over run? So in our next slide, I'm going to demonstrate how to look at slope when you are looking directly at a graph. I have a negative slope and I have a positive slope. And I even already put in pink, if you can see in the graphs, the perfect points where it hits the corner of a square. And I want to do the rise over run on the negative graph first. So I know it's rise over run. And when I'm talking about rise, I want to know if this graph is going up or if it's going down. Remember, I read my graphs from left to right. Since I know it is going down, I know I'm going to be rising down a certain amount of units. So I want to know how many points down do I get until I line up with this point. So I know it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Since I'm rising down 3 units, I know it's going to be a negative 3. When I run, I know I'm always going to be running to the left. Running to the right. And I want to know how many units I run to the right until I get to my second pink dot. 1, 2. So I know my slope is going to be negative 3 over 2. So it is a negative slope. I realize that my slope is negative. Let's take a look at my positive slope. Positive slope, I know it's going up. Since it's going up, I know I'm going to be raising units up. So I want to grab my last point or my second point that's on this graph, and I want to see where it hits on the y-axis. I want to see how many units up it goes from my first dot, 1, 2. So I know it's going to be a positive 2 units to be risen up. And now I want to do my run. How many units? So how many units is it from this point to get to my next point, what's right here, to do my run? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know my slope is going to be 2 over 5. Just to recap what I did for both of these is I wanted to see how many small squares, and I counted those little small squares to get the numbers, and I wanted to see how many units I needed to rise up or rise down and see how many units it ran to the right. So for a negative slope, I know I'm going to come out with a negative number. With a positive slope, I know my fraction is going to be a positive number. All right, let's take a look at this problem. So I already know that this is going to be a negative slope. I want you to pause the video. I want to see if you are able to figure this negative slope out. All right, so I did give you some time. I'm now going to pop up the answer so you can double check your work. The answer should have been negative 3 over 2. I even did my work on the graph so you're able to see. So I do have a video right here of your actual think aloud. So you're going to want to watch, you want to go to the next video in order for you to get the rest of this lesson.